Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share all my secrets about keeping racing pigeons healthy during their training period. I've been racing pigeons for over 20 years now, and I've learned so much through trial and error. So let me share what works best. First things first, feeding is absolutely crucial. I mix my own feed. I usually go with about 25% wheat, 20% corn, 15% peas, 15% millet, 10% oats, 10% lentils, and 5% sunflower seeds. But here's the thing, I adjust this depending on the season and how my birds are doing. During race season, I actually divide feeding into 3 stages. About 2 weeks before a race, I increase protein to build muscle, more peas and lentils in the mix. Then 3-4 days before race day, I switch to more carbohydrates, increasing corn and wheat. This gives them energy stores for the long flight. On race day itself, I feed them lightly, mostly millet and a bit of wheat. You don't want them flying with a full stomach. One mistake I see beginners make is using old or moldy feed. I always store my feed in cool, dry places in breathable bags. I check the date every time I buy new feed. Trust me, this makes a huge difference. Now let's talk about vitamins and minerals. I add a multivitamin to their water twice a week. B vitamins are especially good for energy metabolism, and vitamin E boosts their immune system. For calcium, I use grit. Pigeons need grit stones in their crop to help digest food, right? I use specially prepared mineral grit mixes that contain calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium. Water is absolutely critical. I clean and refresh their water twice daily, especially in hot weather. Here's something that works for me. I add apple cider vinegar to their water 2-3 days a week, about 5 milliliters per liter. It regulates intestinal flora and pH balance. But be careful, too much can be harmful. Before tough races, I mix electrolytes into their water. These special mixes with potassium, sodium, and magnesium help replace minerals lost during flight. Once a week, I add garlic water. It's a natural antibiotic and strengthens the immune system. I crush a few cloves of garlic, soak them in water, then strain it and add some to their drinking water. Let me tell you about training now. A good training program is key to successful racing. During the off-season, I do free flights 3 to 4 times a week around the loft, about 30-40 minutes each. As the season approaches, about 2-3 months before, I move to a more structured program. The first month, I train them 3 times a week, starting with 5 km distances and gradually increasing to 20 km. The second month, we go up to 50 km 3 times a week. This is when I also do basket training. I put them in transport cages and release them from different locations. In the final month, I do moderate intensity training. The last long-distance training is 10 days before the race, then I gradually ease off. 3 days before the race, I stop training completely, just letting them fly around the loft. This recovery period is critical for muscle repair and energy storage. After each training session, I check their chest muscles for firmness and flexibility. If muscles are too hard or too soft, I adjust the training intensity. Health checks are something I never compromise on. Every week I check their eyes. They should be clear and lively with clean white membranes. Any redness, discharge, or cloudiness could be a sign of illness. I check their nostrils too. They should be clean and open. Discharge or crusting could mean respiratory infection. I check their crop. It should be soft and flexible. Any hardness, food buildup, or redness is concerning. Their wings and feathers should be vibrant, shiny, and complete. Broken, missing, or dull feathers might indicate nutritional problems or parasites. And of course, I check their droppings. Healthy droppings are formed, medium firm, with distinct white urine portions. Watery, very dark, or green droppings suggest digestive problems. Vaccination is essential. I vaccinate once a year for paramyxovirus, PMV. This virus affects the nervous system and can be deadly, and salmonella. In some regions, pox vaccine is also recommended. For parasites, I give internal parasite medication every 3 months. And for external parasites, I use special sprays, paying attention to the base of feathers and under the wings. Now let's talk about stress management. Stressed pigeons don't fly well. Transportation stress is common. I train my birds to get used to transport baskets by keeping them in baskets for a few hours once a week. Social stress matters too. I separate aggressive birds and try not to separate couples, especially during race season. Environmental stress from sudden noises, cats, dogs, predatory birds. I try to keep my loft away from these. And race stress. I keep the week before a race very calm, disturbing my birds as little as possible. Psychological motivation is interesting. pigeons fly home because they're motivated to return. I let my pigeons spend time with their mates before a race. This increases their motivation to return. Some breeders use semi-nesting techniques, which I prefer too. Feather care is critical for aerodynamics. Clean, healthy feathers make birds fly better. I bathe them twice a week in room temperature water. I add special ingredients to their bath water. Sea salt strengthens feathers and keeps parasites away. Apple cider vinegar balances feather pH. Sometimes I use special feather care shampoos, especially before important races. During molting season, I focus on protein-rich diet to ensure healthy feather growth. I also give biotin, zinc, and vitamin E supplements. During race season, I never touch their feathers. It's important they don't lose their natural oils. If they get very dirty, I just wipe them lightly with a damp cloth. Loft setup directly affects your pigeon's quality of life. My loft has good ventilation with windows at the top to prevent moisture buildup. I maintain proper temperature, not below 10 degrees in winter or above 30 degrees in summer. Ideal humidity is between 50–60%. Too dry causes respiratory problems. Too humid causes fungal infections. For lighting, pigeons perform best with 12 to 14 hours of light. I use artificial lighting according to the season. Cleanliness is crucial. My routine is daily cleaning of perches and basic floor cleaning, weekly complete floor cleaning and disinfection of drinking vessels, monthly deep cleaning of all surfaces including walls. I prefer natural products for disinfection. A vinegar and baking soda mixture works in most cases. For serious cleaning, I use mild disinfectants made specifically for pigeons. I use dry sawdust as bedding and change it weekly. Keeping the bedding dry is very important. Damp bedding is a source of disease. Race day preparation is critical. The last 24 hours before a race matter most. The day before the race, I feed them lightly in the late afternoon with easily digestible grains. I check all birds carefully. If there's any issue, I don't send that bird. I weigh them all one last time to check they're at ideal racing weight. On race morning, I wake them up 2 hours before basketing time. I give a small amount of millet, but no water, to prevent water spilling in containers during transport. I basket them calmly and carefully without frightening them. During basketing, I check each bird's leg number and electronic ring number, place them in the correct baskets, and make sure they're not overcrowded. I check that basket ventilation holes are open. After they've gone, I prepare the loft for their return. Clean water and light feed. I check the electronic timing system to ensure it's working properly. I keep the return window open, and if I've paired them, I keep their mates visible for motivation. Post-race care affects success in the next race. As soon as they return, I give them clean water with electrolytes for the first 30 minutes. This reduces dehydration risk. I check their chest muscles and massage them if they're excessively firm. For the first few hours, I give light, easily digestible feed, mostly millet and a little wheat. I provide a quiet environment for rest. In the first 24 hours, I switch to protein-rich feeding for muscle repair and give multivitamin supplements, especially B and E vitamins. I don't let them bathe. It's important they maintain body heat. In the following days, I gradually return to normal feeding. From the second day, I start light training, first flying around the loft. I follow a full recovery program until the next race. Throughout the season, adjustments are necessary based on the pigeon's condition. I make these periodic adjustments. For short-distance races, carbohydrate-rich feeding. For long-distance races, high-fat feeding, and weather-based feeding, fattier in cold weather, lighter in hot weather. I also adjust training, reducing intensity for consecutive races, allowing longer recovery after long-distance races, and creating special programs for underperforming pigeons. Seasonally, I make adjustments too. In summer, temperature control with more shade and water. In winter, additional heating and lighting. In spring and autumn, allergen control for pollen, etc. Let me finish by talking about selecting successful racing pigeons and breeding management. This is crucial for future success. Selection criteria include body structure, balanced with strong chest muscles and good wingspan. Feather quality, soft, silky, tight feathers. Eye color, bright and lively, especially red tones. Performance history, their own race results and pedigree. And character, calm but energetic, intelligent, with strong homing instinct. For breeding management, I select my best performing pigeons as breeders. I avoid inbreeding, blood relation problems. I allow each pair to raise maximum 2 to 3 youngsters per season. I train youngsters systematically from an early age and keep a pedigree record to track successful bloodlines. Well, pigeon lovers, I've shared all my secrets from 20 years of experience. Remember, pigeon racing is about passion and patience. Each pigeon has its own character. Don't treat them all the same way. If you liked my video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments. If you have questions, ask in the comments section. I'll try to answer as best I can. In my next video, I'll talk about racing psychology in pigeons. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss it. I wish you all good flights and great results. See you next time.